Hi there. I'm going to welcome everybody here. This is your good friend James Knight and my buddy Kristie.
Hi, good morning, good morning.
Hi. And then we're actually here, and we're actually spotlight is on Luke. And Luke, can you introduce yourself?
G'day guys, my name's Luke Corden. I'd like to thank James and Kristie for obviously getting me on here today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my product in a minute. But first I should probably tell you a little bit about myself, if you don't mind me boring you for a little while.
Go on.
So my name is Luke, and I was going to do a different product initially. It was going to be about fear of public speaking, but I haven't done that. I've done this, but I'm not quite over that fear yet, so bear with me. This product that I've got for you today is...
Oh, before we get into that, Luke,
okay.
Can you tell us how you first started and how it was a little tough for you? I mean, you mentioned that before.
Yeah, sure, okay. Well, it started a long time ago. I've had my toes in IM since around about 1995 on and off. It's the first time I've looked at it, and I was always too scared to get into it, and then sort of life got in the way, and a few different businesses, real world businesses, sort of went up and then they went down, and I realized that I didn't really know what I was doing anymore. I'd done hospitality, I'd worked in banks, I had travelled around and bummed around for a long time and had all these different jobs, and I thought, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go to university. I had no real prospects at that point, so I went to university and started studying international relations, which is very little to do with internet marketing, apart from maybe it's to do with relationships. Anyway, I did that degree, I came out of it, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I went in there to try and get a job at the end of it, and I came out and there's still absolutely no prospects for a 34-year-old just coming out of university. So I had to have a hard look at myself then, and during that point I'd also reconnected with my ex-girlfriend of 10 years ago. It was a 10-year break, and we managed to reconnect, except she was in Australia and I was in the UK. So I spent the last of my money pretty much just flying backwards and forwards to try and really fix that relationship with us, which I'm happy to say has gone perfectly, and she's living here in the UK with me now. But then started looking around me again, still didn't have any projects, had hardly any money, back in hospitality in a job that I hated, and I thought, well, what am I going to do? And I thought, well, I'll give this internet marketing thing a go again. I didn't really know what I was doing, so I just took a really big gamble and put the last of my money into trying to create this product and working with some very good people, which in a roundabout way has very much got to me to where I am now. I'm finally at the point of this sort of last area of desperate bid to try and do something with my life that allows me to travel and be with the girl and support the girl that I love. Has brought me to this product and ultimately to this very call that we're on.
That's so awesome.
So I hope that makes sense to you guys.
Yeah. Great love story.
Real quick, I know one thing that you looked at, now that you've been traveling around the world and you know doing this, you finally found out one thing of how to get Google websites on first page very easily. And that is what's really hard for a lot of people, especially people with $1-million businesses.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't care if it's like a manufacturing business or if it's a clothing product or a vitamin business. If you guys understand that this can make you a lot of money. Why does it can make you a lot of money? The reason that it can make you a lot of money is because if you can get a website on first page of Google and actually get people to that website, you can actually charge a lot of money for this. Let's say you charge anywhere from $5,000, $10,000 just to get on top spot. Because the reason is because such as a dentist, one dentist call could be $2,000 for a root canal. So what he has to say is very vital, because the reason is because once you get this business going, you can put money in your pocket by actually charging this as a service. Am I right, Luke?
Absolutely right, absolutely right. And especially like local SEO is ridiculously hot at the moment as well, and it all ties into that. But I hope that I learned a lot more than just this when I was traveling around. But I mean, if this is my takeaway, then I think it can benefit a lot of people. And I think that people get too caught up in getting that #1 spot on Google. It's what you always hear with these plugins that you just chuck into your site. Yeah, get #1, get #1, get #1, get #1. Not everybody can be #1 on Google. It's a a logical inconsistency, you know. So I started thinking about that when I was doing my old affiliate sites and just trying to work out how to get on the first page of Google. I mean, that's where you start, and then it gets really competitive. And so I was trying to think about how I could, you know, really find another way in, and that sort of led me to you go through your backlinking, you go through your on-site SEO with your H1 tags, and you do all of that classic SEO, and you're still really struggling to get to the top or get up close to the top. So I started looking for other ways, and that's essentially what led me to website optimization and page speed optimization.
I get you. I was going to ask you a question.
Yeah,
what is the number one way that you feel like would get a website to get more traffic to it? Not that you're number one, but more traffic than somebody else that's maybe on top of them.
Well, ultimately, I mean, it's my belief and experience that you have to be able to deliver your content. You know, I mean, if you can have the best content in the world, but if you don't deliver it, then you're not going to get up to number one, because you're not going to have people on your site. You're not going to have people staying on your site. You're not going to have people talking about your site, because it's dead in the water. If your site takes more than a couple of seconds to load, then you know as well as I do that you just click the back button and you go to the next site. So long way to answer that question. I think the best way that you're going to get to number one is being able to deliver your content to your customers.
Okay.
So what you're saying, yes, Kristie.
Yeah, Luke, so if I'm new to this and I don't really understand optimization and that,
Sure.
So what you're saying is, if I use your Speed Demon plugin and I can get my site to the first page of Google, even if it's not the top site, that the other sites are so slow that people are going to click off that and come back to my site, because if I use Speed Demon, my site's going to load really fast and they're going to be able to see my site, and that's the whole point, right?
Yeah, that's essentially it. It's not I should say it's not a plugin. It's actually a series of training modules, short sort of bite-sized training modules. But that's essentially it. If you can, you still have to do SEO. I'm not saying that you don't have to do that, but what I am saying is that pretty much everybody's site, like my own mentor's site that I've been working with, I ran some tests on his site, and his the slow loading speeds, you know, and because of that, people won't stick around to have a look at his site. They'll just go to the next site down, and they'll go to the next site down, and that's what I'm teaching people to do, to get the very best out of their sites and to be able to deliver it to the customers. You know, you frustrate the heck out of me.
What would actually help load the site faster?
Well, there's a number of things. One of the real biggest things that people tend to slip up on is just something as simple as optimizing your images. When you get onto like WordPress, for example, you think that you can just upload an image and then it magically turns into the right size on your page. Now that doesn't happen. What you've got is a big problem, because the WordPress loads the big image, which takes ages to download, and then it turns that into the small image, and then it loads that image, it renders that image.
I see.
So that's, you know, across the site, that might not just one thing, but across the site that might be 100 images, it might be 200 images, and you wonder why it's taking you 4 or 5 seconds for your site to load, you know, and you wonder why you're getting no customers, because the site's not loading. You could have the most beautiful site in the world, but I'm not going to stick around to see it.
So Luke, if I were, which I have done, I've done some websites for a make and pet shop and a pet groomer and whatnot, and so studying your modules, I could with confidence go to these business owners and say, I know how to make your site load really fast, so you'd be way ahead of your competition, and so my knowledge gained from your site would give me more authority and more confidence, and then, you know, I could sell my local services as an SEO consultant and or do affiliate marketing.
Absolutely. I mean, it works for anybody that's trying to make money out of a website, you know, and there's countless times if, for example, with your dog grooming website or whatever, you're trying to show a client something on it, and you go, well, let's go and have a look at this particular brush for grooming your dog, and you go to load up your website, and then you're both just sitting there for a while, like 5-6 seconds, and nothing's happening. It's embarrassing. You know, I go, well, okay, she can't even bother to go on, James. Sorry.
is that what is the easiest way to actually optimize an image for everybody that's listening? Because a lot of people are saying, how do I do this? A little couple of tips.
Okay. Well, there's 3 ways. Throughout the course, I try to give you at each stage, I give you the quick way and the good way. And with image optimization, I actually give you 3 ways. So the easiest way, and which is the quickest way, which is not necessarily the best way, is you can use a plugin for that, which is the Yahoo Smush It plugin, smush.it. That's brilliant. It just does things as you go, but it doesn't.
That was Yahoo Smash It.
Smush It, yeah, SMUSH, then .it, and that's excellent, and that works both on WordPress and it works outside of WordPress as well. But that's not the best way. The best way would be to use a tool like Photoshop or a free tool like GIMP, and I show you how to do that. And it's literally finding out what your particular website, what dimensions it requires, which I show you how to do. It's ridiculously simple. It's about 3 clicks of a mouse, and then going in and optimizing for those dimensions, and then uploading it.
And everybody out there, Photoshop costs money. GIMP is free.
Right.
Yeah, GIMP is excellent. It does everything that you need to do.
And so what you can do is use GIMP to actually hopefully optimize your images so that your website will actually come up a lot faster. Also, just another tidbit for everybody is that you want to make sure that your server is fast enough. If you're using something like that, it just keeps on coming up and coming up. You know, it just not does. What is a good server that you recommend that just pushes it up?
I'm using DreamHost for all of my stuff at the moment. Partly also because obviously when I was putting this stuff together, I was talking to them quite a lot, so their customer support is second to none in my opinion. However, I will in the future be going over to Liquid Web because I think at the moment they're really punching above their weight, and I've heard a lot of good noise about them.
Good to hear.
So yeah, but as a newbie, I can't recommend DreamHost enough. I think because of their customer support.
Exactly. You can get somebody live on the phone pretty quick with DreamHost. That's fine. What is a second way to actually get these websites quickly coming up and actually getting the website on first page, hopefully on Google?
Sure. Well, one of the best and most powerful ways is to compress your website, which sounds technical, and people call it G-zipping your site. It sounds more terrifying than it actually is. It's very much just like if you imagine on your desktop when you zip up a file, you compress a file. It's the same principle, except you do it for your website, and you do it at the server level. And now that also sounds complicated. In some cases, the server will do it for you. You just have to know how to ask them to do it. And in other cases, you do it through an FTP client, which is I show you over the shoulder exactly how to do that. And that will save you or compress your site or shrink your site between 60 to 75%, which is a massive speed saving.
So you show that how to do it, and also for anybody out there, after they do pick up, this course, which is just huge or anything, you can ask you hopefully if you like, for example, DreamHost, can they possibly do that for you?
DreamHost won't do that for you. No, that's one of the things that I did find out that they won't do. But it's honestly so simple, and for WordPress users, I've got one of the actual modules that I do. I call it the 60-second fix because it is so quick and easy to do, and that will G-zip your site within 60 seconds.
So it takes 60 seconds to actually do this. Can a newbie do this?
People don't know it. It took me ages to find it. I was so many mistakes, broken sites in the past. I got all of those behind me, and I've found the answers and I put them into this course. You just watch me doing it, and after each module you'll see the success and the results, and you see these videos that were all edited and everything's behind sort of closed doors as well. There's no editing, so some of them might be 7 minutes as opposed to 3 minutes, but the point of me doing that is so that there's nothing hidden, so you can there's nothing to be missed. You can't make any mistakes. You just literally copy and paste, and you click, and Bob's your uncle.
That sounds awesome. So that's inside his course. He just told that even a newbie person, somebody like me, which I went through his course, and tell you it's very easy to use. Everything he's telling you, it takes like 60 seconds to do this, 60 seconds. I mean, what I like about it is that somebody like me who doesn't even know how to build a website or do any of that, or even WordPress, it was that simple that he went step by step over the shoulder of showing actually how to do this. What else is actually that's a good way to actually optimize your website, just for some of us that are out here?
Okay, well, another one that I go into is using content delivery networks, which are often called CDNs, which they are essentially they're systems outside of your own system which deliver your content on your behalf, so that your site isn't uploading the same content into people's browsers every single time. It comes from these other servers which are dotted around the world, which again, it sounds sort of complicated, but it isn't. It's your site now, most likely, James, just operates on one server, and that server downloads into people's browsers. So it does all of the work itself, whereas if you imagine that spread out across 10 servers, which is or 100 servers all around the world, they all download at the same time, so everything comes down far, far quicker, and all of the top sites are using that. And again, you know, that probably takes about 17 minutes, I think. You see me set that up in 17 minutes, and then it's done. You forget about it.
Wow, that's so cool. And how many videos are in there, Luke? Say, you know, if I watch something, don't understand it, I can watch it again. How many videos?
Yeah. Well, there's 15 videos in total, and they take you from, I mean, the very first few videos are all about positioning you as the newbie. You know, it teaches you how to back everything up so nothing will get lost or nothing will get broken. It teaches you like how to go out and find the best building blocks and platforms and themes so that you start off at the highest possible level, as opposed to making the wrong choices from the beginning. And that takes you all the way through to the heavier optimizations as well, which again, trial and error, I found out that you can try and fix all of these things, but if you don't fix them in the right order, you'll have fixed something, and then you have to go back and unfix it so you can fix something else. So I've managed to put these in the sequence that works as well, which is a massive time saver.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's good to know because you're the expert. So, you know, if we had questions, I'm sure they're answered in the videos.
But
they're answered in the videos. Yeah.
One question. The reason you back it up, just in case somebody breaks into your website, am I right, and hacks it?
Yeah, I mean, it's in case somebody hacks it, or it's in case somewhere throughout the modules you have a power failure, or you know, there's many different reasons that you could lose your work, and this just ensures
what is the way that
you
usually back your sites up?
I actually use FTP backup, which is a system like FileZilla, which stands for File Transfer Protocol, which isn't sexy. But it allows you to access all your website files, and you'll see me use that. But I've also got in there other methods. You can back up through your server, for example, or you can back up with a plugin in some instances if you're using WordPress. So, I mean, all of that kind of stuff's covered.
To do the backup, how long does that usually take? By your methods that you're teaching? Because I know that backing up sites is not that easy. That's why a lot of times, I'm going to tell you, and this is real important, people, because just for this one method right here will save your butt big time. All right, thing. I had a website that was hacked. I think it was a Snooki site. I think we had like Snooki.net or something like that. I think what it was. And I made a lot of money on that site and everything. That's why you guys have to learn how to do this really. Is that what happened was I had the site up, and all of a sudden and then on the site there was a big image, and it was like hacked by the whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I had exactly that.
And just to purchase the product for this, to learn how, so you don't have to go through what I went through, which could be a nightmare. So imagine that you have a website, and you're making, let's say, $100 a week, which you could, or let's say it's a client site, okay, right. And you charge them $1,000 just to get a site optimized, which is basically very little money for especially somebody who's huge that's making $10 million a year. What are you going to do all of a sudden when all of a sudden you're actually, you're charging maybe this guy $500 or $1,000 a month to keep his website up there, and then all of a sudden he brings his website up, and all of a sudden he sees that big image and hacked by the anti-terrorist.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that.
Yeah, I mean, you're just going to wet your pants on it right there. Because he's going to come to you and say, Mike, the site got hacked. Why weren't you on this? Why do you think he's going to stop paying you $500 a month or $250 or $1,000 a month, especially if he's a big time guy like a dentist, you're going to lose that client.
You're right, James.
Yeah. You're right. Do you know what? It's funny that you say it. Like 2 days ago, I was actually hacked. I had the same screen that you're talking about, and it said hacked by Bangladeshi grey hats.
Oh my God!
I know that guy.
They didn't steal any of the content or anything like that, but because I had the backup, and obviously I'm launching the product on Thursday, so that could have been a disaster. But you know, I had a backup. I was up and running again.
Yeah, one of my sites. It was a Snooki. It was a I forgot what it was, but it was I think it was like a Lindsay Lohan site, a Pierce Hilton, or whatever. But I'm just saying that and I was making a lot of money. But the thing was that I was lucky to actually, I have like developers who are able to take care of that for me. But I'm telling you, basically what Luke has out here is stuff to actually keep your site from being hacked. It's helping you get your website on optimized and getting it on first page and getting a lot of visitors. And what he's saying basically is that when you're first page, you don't have to be number 1 or number 2. How many times have you went to first page and you clicked on something, you're waiting on and on and on for that site to load? Basically what you're going to do is say, hey, click off, and let me go to the second or third one. And that's why you don't have to be number 1. All you have to do is you got to be loaded up pretty fast. Am I right, Luke?
That's exactly right, you know, and that kind of mentality as well is a game changer, because so many people invest so much money and they invest like hard currency in trying to get to the number 1, you know, but they're throwing away customers, you know, and even people like Amazon, they lost $1.6 billion projected over a course of the year because of a 1-second delay in load time. Now those customers didn't just disappear; they're still out there on the first page of Google looking for the next site that's going to give them their content, and that's what it's all about.
Right, Luke, and I would just like to add, for people that don't know, we're just assuming they know, people don't go beyond the first page of Google, you know, and a lot of people don't understand why this is so important, because people's attention span is like that. They just want instant results, and that's what you're talking about. That's the benefit of your product, is that people get instant viewing of your website versus other people they don't know about this technology, and they're losing out on all these customers and sales.
Exactly. What is the number 1 video that you have? If somebody's going to say, if I get your course, what is the number 1 video that I'm going to say that's just going to knock my socks off?
I think it would be the videos in the 5th module, which is all the heavier optimizations, where you put in your CDN and you gzip your site, you compress your site, and you just suddenly see the results, the instant results after the video of how much slicker and how much faster your site is appearing. You know, it's very, very obvious the changes it makes. It's not like one of these things you have to wait around for. It's immediate.
So somebody like me that's like newbie, I don't even know, I hardly know how to copy and paste. Would this be easy for somebody like me?
Yeah, absolutely right. And you know, the other thing is that, like, something that I'm actually really looking forward to is that part of the product is sort of lifetime VIP access to the private members forum, which is a Facebook when it's hosted by me, which will give you access to me. So if you have got problems, you know, you can come to me, and not just with this, with SEO as well. You know, I've done my time with SEO. So we can have a swarm within that group. We can learn off each other, which excites me. But also, if there are very specific problems with this, then you've got immediate direct access to me. So, I mean, I'm here really just to make sure it works.
How do we get to that membership where we can actually have you help us? Is that in the front end, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's in the front end. That's all part of the package. As soon as you're signed up, the first page that you go to, that's your welcome page, your home page, and the link is right in there. It's a big icon. You can't miss it. That's
awesome. So, for anybody that gets it, there's 15 modules that are inside the front end of the course, right?
15 videos and 5 modules.
Okay, and the 5 modules. And what's cool about it is in the front end, you also get access to you in that mastermind group. So if they have a problem with their website or loading properly, they can just contact you in that Facebook group, and they can get help. Which I'm going to tell you, folks, just for that, you know how much it would cost to get somebody to actually call them up and say for about $200 an hour just to help them say, hey, I have this question.
Yeah.
So right there, that is I would just that is just like that just got me right there, right then, because as a newbie, you already got access to it. I mean, he asked you, the question. I mean, he's going to get back to you real quick. So, how much is the front end? I mean, I think for this, it would probably be $97. I'm just telling people because
right now
with somebody like Luke, I mean, he can get to tell you how to do it, how to actually get your servers, how to get it optimized, how to actually get back your sites up. I mean, this is like magic. So how much is that again? Is it 97 or what did you say before it was?
No, it's only $17. The early bird special.
$17 for all that.
Yeah, that's really reasonable.
$17.
Yeah, it's only for 7 days of this launch, though.
And then it's going up.
Special. Then it's going way past $97, James. Way past.
Yeah, I don't agree with you at all.
Okay, and that just got me right there and everything. And I'm just telling you, I'm already actually telling you that this is going to save your butt. Trust me. I hope so. You get that big image of let's say, for example, your site has been hacked by the crazy Taliban. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're going to wish that you actually had access to Luke's Facebook group and say, help me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. That's when I'll put the price up.
If that happens?
Say that again, sorry, James.
If the site gets hacked, can you actually help them right away?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they followed what's in the course, they'll be back up and running within a couple of hours. If it happens by some freak that hasn't happened, like I make it quite clear how to avoid that. But if it happens, then it's easy enough to get them back up and running. Maybe not in 2 hours, might take a little bit longer, but we can work together to try and work that out.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
okay, there's an so that's $17, which I'm going to tell you, that's a gift. That's a sweetheart deal, really, because really just getting that, then you got to get somebody access to an expert like Luke. I'm just telling you that's fantastic. Okay, the OTO. What is the OTO?
The OTO is purely the ability to download all of the modules within the course. So, I mean, when you go into the membership area, you've got all of your modules there. That's all great. But from experience, I know that when you're working within a browser all the time and you're listening to a lot of video and you're playing a lot of video, it tends to be very browser intensive. It slows everything down, and if you're clicking backwards and forth to fix the site, then that's browser intensive as well. So what I've done is I've made you the opportunity to download the videos so that you can actually have them on your computer or your iPad or your phone, whatever, so you can have a second source to watch the videos whilst you're working on your site.
That's fantastic.
It's just a small OTO.
In the gym, actually doing leg presses.
If that was what floats your boat, man, yeah, we can do that.
That's fantastic. Okay, all I can tell you is that I told you before, there's some courses that I care. I say it's okay. Chris, we talked about it before, Kristie.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And what is our secret thing that we're giving everybody?
Yeah, either 1 or 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. I'm telling you, this is a 2 thumb up right there.
2 thumb up right here.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
All I got to tell you is that this is fantastic. I totally recommend this. I mean, I don't recommend everything, okay? I'm just telling you straight off for anything. If I say, if I kind of, you guys will tell. I told you before how I'm going to tell if something's worth it and what's not, okay? Because we're not going to let the creators know that, okay? But this is one of the ones that I give 2 thumbs up. All right?
Thanks, man. That means a lot coming from you guys.
Yeah, I really liked it a lot, and I'm telling you, the course is totally, he over-delivered. That's all I can tell you. And, Kristie, we're going to wrap this up, but Kristie has one more thing to say.
I actually have 2 more things to say. I'm a woman. I got 2 more things to say. I would say if you have a website, it's so overly worth it to get a $17 product that's going to do all this for you. If you just have one website, it would be so worth it. That's the first thing. The second thing was I want to leave you with like a little inspirational tip of the day. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. By Robert Louis Stevenson. That's rich.
Beautiful.
That's fantastic. Everybody say goodbye to Hunk.
Yeah, okay. I want you to see who's having a fit.
Nice cameo.
He is having a fit. He wants me to play with him. There he is. He's like, this is romper room time, and you're on the computer. There he is.
Yep, there you go.
Thank you so much for being with us.
All right, 2 thumbs up. Guys, grab it. I mean, like I said before, this is one that I recommend. I mean, this is one of my golden nuggets that I thought, I'm going to have to say this is one of the top ones for a long time that I actually really liked, and I actually think that is really worth the value. So anyway,
Awesome.
I'm going to say bye to everybody. Thanks for coming on, Luke. And
thank you for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Kristie, fantastic. I love working with you and everything. And you know what? Our new mascot, Hunk.
Hunk
See you guys later.
Bye.
Peace out.
Bye, Luke.
Goodbye.
Bye.